I was fortunate, I think, to have a 30-year active duty career. From second lieutenant in Korea to colonel in Washington, D.C. So I went from warrior to diplomat during those years. In Korea, I learned how to be a soldier. I had a great Sergeant E7, Chief of Firing Battery when I was a battery executive officer. I learned how to handle the guns. I learned how to deal with troops. And I served in a unit that was 80% Korean. I had the Sergeant E7 and one sergeant for each gun and all the rest of the gun crews. It's an 8-inch howitzer unit and I Corps artillery 6 kilometers from the DMZ. I learned how to deal with these unusual circumstances during not that far time frame from actual Korean War. I'm talking 1963. And so when we go firing, we were firing World War II ammunition still. I thought that was awfully strange when you think back. 15 years was not that long when you consider about Desert Storm was so long ago. But I learned the Army. I wasn't fully committed to a total career at that time. I was a reserve officer. Then I was assigned to Fort Benning, Georgia, to the 2nd Infantry Division, to the 17th Artillery, from 17th in Korea to the 17th, a different regiment, and at Fort Benning. I was a battalion fire direction officer, and I learned to do that job very well. And the colonel suggested, well, you need to go regular Army. So I put in my papers to go regular Army while I was at Fort Benning in 1964, and spent a year there. And actually I was sent TDY to go to amphibious warfare school because the 2nd Infantry was supposed to be able to do amphibious operations. And when I returned from TDY, my 2 roommates I shared a house with were not there, and I saw on the table orders appointing me to the 11th Air Assault Division, which I reported to the next day. A week later became the 1st Cavalry Division, Air Mobile. So I was assigned to the 1st Cavalry Division at Fort Benning. A month later, we sailed to Vietnam. 1965, August, we head out to Vietnam by ship from Charleston, through the Panama Canal, on a ship, a World War II ship, no air conditioning. And on board, we did a little training we could, a little PT, was not much room. With two battalions of infantry on the ship, 1 artillery battalion and a brigade headquarters. We got to Vietnam. It was a great tour because I got to see and work with great warriors. I was a forward air observer during the Battle of the Ia Drang. You know about this from a movie, We Were Soldiers. It was about that battle. I was an air observer flying over the LZ X-ray. On one occasion I tried to drop grenades to the lost platoon, but they were rescued before that happened. And I was flying with the AirFAC, in L-19, O1E they called it. We were bringing in the airstrikes and coordinating the artillery. He was sitting up front talking to the aircraft. I was in the back with a portable radio with the antenna out the window talking to the people on the ground in the air and the artillery units. My 30-year career means so much to me. I got to work with soldiers, great soldiers, a few bad, but mostly great soldiers, and represent my country, like in Korea with Koreans, in Germany among German citizens, dealing with the Russians. I had opportunity to work at the lowest level with the troops at the squad, platoon, company, battery, battalion level, brigade level, division, on up to the diplomats, and working on the joint staff, Army staff, working in the Pentagon at the highest level. I think that every American should give something back to the country. And whether serving in the uniform, something, I wish that we would have something that required someone to pay back. Only 0.7% of our population are now serving in the military. I think it's only like 16 million or so veterans now. It's not that much. It's a small percentage of the population. But I feel honored to have done my part at different levels in working with soldiers in combat, in peacetime, the Cold War, and even in the Cold War, there's a lot of tension when you know you push buttons away from nuclear war. I had the opportunity to lead in all those capacities and perform duties which I think were done to the utmost of my ability. And I'm proud of my accomplishments, that I had the opportunity to do what few people who make colonel could have done. To spend 30 years of active duty, 20 of it at the troop level and 10 of it at the upper echelon level. Both were meaningful, both throughout my career. I was always proud to wear the American flag. And when I did those inspections in the Soviet Union, we wore civilian, but we had American flags posted on our uniforms. So we were proud to demonstrate that we were here to represent our country with pride and with enthusiasm, and we stood up for what's right in the world, and we were never hesitant to take a stand for what was right.